They call themselves the Cowboys.
Get ready to ride into the gritty, unforgiving world of Tombstone, a movie that's more than just a Western, it's a modern epic of loyalty, justice, and redemption. From unforgettable showdowns to iconic one-liners, this film doesn't just tell a story, it brings legends to life. With raw performances and characters that stay with you long after the credits roll, Tombstone stands tall as one of the greatest action movies ever made. Today we're diving deep into why this cinematic masterpiece continues to resonate with fans decades later. Saddle up and get ready for a wild ride. The opening of Tombstone is nothing short of iconic, immediately setting the tone for the ruthless, unforgiving spirit of the Old West. The film starts with a haunting narration that echoes through grainy black and white footage, narrated by the legendary Robert Mitchum. This choice instantly transports the audience back in time, giving the impression of watching a historical account rather than a Hollywood production. As the ominous music swells, the Cowboys, an infamous gang of outlaws, are seen approaching a wedding celebration. The eerie calm before the storm creates a sense of dread, foreshadowing the violence to come. At the forefront of the gang is Curly Bill Brocious, portrayed with an unhinged energy by Powers Booth. One of the most memorable details of his appearance is his 4-ace boots, which aren't just a costume piece, they symbolize his luck and swagger as a leader of the Cowboys. It's a subtle yet powerful visual cue that encapsulates his reckless leadership. As the Cowboys close in, the mood shifts drastically. The joyous expressions on the faces of the wedding guests turn to sheer terror as they realize the danger they are in. The Cowboys unleash brutal chaos, ruthlessly shooting down men, women, and even the priest. It's not just violence for the sake of violence, it's a calculated statement of dominance. This merciless display of power establishes the Cowboys as a force to be reckoned with, a gang that doesn't abide by any moral code or honor. They do as they please, and anyone who dares to stand in their way is left in the dust. One of the most remarkable aspects of this scene is the sheer star power among the Cowboys. You've got Powers Booth delivering a signature sinister charm, Thomas Hayden Church with his rugged edge, and Michael Rooker subtly portraying a hint of conscience. And then there's Johnny Ringo, played by Michael Biehn, who effortlessly commands attention with his chilling presence. Around the table, he delivers a cold, calculated Bible quote that sends shivers down the spine.
Behold, a pale horse. The man who sat on him was death, and hell followed with him.
It's more than just a line. It's a declaration that this man isn't just a gunslinger, but an intellectual with a dark philosophy. This moment cements him as one of the most dangerous members of the Cowboys, making it clear that he's not only ruthless, but disturbingly intelligent. It's one of the most badass introductions for an antagonist in Western cinema, setting him up as a formidable rival to come. The combination of powerful performances, haunting visuals, and atmospheric music makes this opening sequence unforgettable. It firmly establishes a chaotic world of Tombstone while foreshadowing the epic confrontations to come. It's a masterclass in setting the stage for a story of loyalty, betrayal, and vengeance. The introduction of Wyatt Earp in Tombstone immediately establishes him as a no-nonsense, rugged character who commands respect without needing to say much. Kurt Russell's portrayal of Wyatt is stoic, embodying the essence of a man who has seen enough of the world to know when to stand his ground and when to walk away. As he steps off the train and surveys the dusty, unforgiving streets of Tombstone, his presence alone is enough to make people think twice about crossing him. One of Wyatt's first actions perfectly encapsulates his sense of justice and intolerance for cruelty. When he sees a man beating his horse, Wyatt doesn't hesitate. He strides over and slaps the man without a second thought. It's a brief but powerful moment that tells us exactly what kind of man Wyatt is. Someone who won't stand by while others are mistreated, whether they're human or animal. This instinct to protect and stand up against wrongdoing is a core aspect of his character throughout the film. As the story unfolds, we're introduced to Wyatt's brothers, Morgan and Virgil Earp. The brotherhood between them is instantly palpable, as they move as a unit and follow Wyatt's lead without question. Morgan, portrayed by Bill Paxton, exudes a youthful optimism that contrasts with Wyatt's hardened demeanor, while Virgil, played by Sam Elliott, has a grounded and steadfast presence. The Earp brothers' loyalty to one another becomes a fundamental theme in the film, reinforcing the idea that they will always stand together no matter the odds. Wyatt's toughness is further emphasized when he encounters Johnny Tyler, played by Billy Bob Thornton. Tyler, a belligerent bully, tries to intimidate Wyatt, but Wyatt remains calm and unflinching. In one swift motion, Wyatt slaps Tyler hard enough to leave him stunned and humiliated. The confrontation doesn't just show Wyatt's physical dominance, it also demonstrates his psychological edge, as he stares Tyler down with unwavering resolve. It's in this moment that Wyatt delivers one of his most iconic lines.
You gonna do something or just stand there and bleed?
The line itself is a declaration of dominance, a challenge that Tyler knows he can't meet. It's a perfect encapsulation of Wyatt's character, fearless, unyielding, and always ready to put a bully in his place. This scene not only cements Wyatt as a formidable figure, but also highlights the contrast between his stoic authority and the blustering arrogance of those who try to test him. Whether it's dealing with unruly gamblers or facing down armed outlaws, Wyatt Earp's presence alone is enough to make most men think twice. It's no wonder that people naturally gravitate to him as a leader, and his strength becomes crucial as tensions escalate throughout the film.
I'm your huckleberry. That's just my game.
The introduction of Doc Holliday in Tombstone is nothing short of captivating. And from the moment he appears on screen, it's clear that he's not just another gunslinger. Played brilliantly by Val Kilmer, Doc is a paradoxical blend of charm, wit, and lethal skill. When we first meet him, he's effortlessly winning at poker, much to the annoyance of the other gamblers at the table. There's a palpable tension in the air as his opponents glare at him with thinly veiled contempt. But Doc, completely unfazed, just keeps dealing and sipping his whiskey. His calm demeanor hides the underlying danger that everyone seems to sense, even if they aren't quite sure what to make of him yet. When one particularly irate gambler named Ed Bailey decides he had enough of Doc's winning streak, he challenges him to a fight. Doc, still as calm as ever, doesn't flinch. Instead, he shows off his quick draw skills with a flash of his gun, spinning it with a practiced grace that leaves the room silent. The sheer confidence he exudes is enough to settle most of the tension. But Bailey, not quite satisfied with the outcome, makes a mistake of pushing Doc just a bit too far. With a swift and unexpected motion, Doc stabs Bailey, reminding everyone just how lethal he really is. The ease with which he switches from playful to deadly is unsettling, showcasing the duality of his character. What makes Doc's character even more fascinating is his disdain for the law.
Sheriff Behan. Gentlemen. Sheriff. Have you met Doc Holliday?
Kiss on you, Wyatt.
An ironic quality given his deep friendship with Wyatt Earp, one of the most legendary lawmen in history. Doc's rogue nature and willingness to operate outside the law contrast sharply with Wyatt's moral code, but their bond runs deeper than mere principles. Despite their differences, they share an unspoken loyalty, and it's this bond that makes their friendship one of the most compelling aspects of the film. It's almost as if Doc finds solace in Wyatt's unwavering dedication to justice, while Wyatt, in turn, is drawn to Doc's carefree defiance of convention. Humor is never far from the surface when Doc is around, even in tense situations. One such moment occurs when Johnny Tyler, played by Billy Bob Thornton, is completely forgotten by everyone after being humiliated by Wyatt. Doc, with a mischievous glint in his eye, barely acknowledges Tyler's presence, as if he's so inconsequential that it's not even worth addressing him.
Oh, Johnny, I apologize. I forgot you were there. You may go now.
It's a subtle but hilarious dismissal, showcasing how effortlessly Doc can diffuse situations without lifting a finger. Perhaps the most intense moment involving Doc is his verbal sparring match with Johnny Ringo. The chemistry between these two characters crackles with tension as they exchange insults in Latin, a duel of intellect as much as of ego. Ringo, confident and menacing, tries to assert his dominance, but Doc meets him word for word, never breaking his calm demeanor. It's a battle of wits that leaves onlookers silent. Knowing that this clash is about more than just words, it's a preview of the inevitable confrontation between two lethal men. The way they toy with each other through language rather than bullets only heightens a sense of danger, making it clear that these two are destined for a deadly showdown. Doc Holliday's introduction and presence in Tombstone are nothing short of mesmerizing. Kilmer's performance is layered, blending humor, tragedy, and menace in equal parts. Whether he's charming a room full of gamblers or staring down Johnny Ringo with a glint of mockery in his eye, Doc remains the most magnetic and unpredictable character in the film. It's no wonder he has become one of the most beloved and iconic figures in Western cinema. As tensions escalate in Tombstone, the film masterfully weaves in moments of dark humor and unnerving calm before the storm. One of the most unexpected scenes takes place in a local theater, where the cowboys, usually associated with violence and chaos, are shown enjoying a Shakespearean performance. The juxtaposition of ruthless outlaws engaging with highbrow theater is both ironic and oddly humanizing. Curly Bill Brocious, clearly enjoying himself, bellows out with enthusiasm.
That's great! That's what I'm gonna stop!
It's a brief moment of levity that almost makes you forget how dangerous these men truly are. But the undercurrent of threat never fully dissipates, as the cowboy's presence alone is enough to keep the audience on edge. In the same scene, Johnny Ringo, ever the dark and brooding figure, mentions making a deal with the devil.
How about you when you do what you do?
I already did it.
It's a line loaded with menace, giving the impression that Ringo sees himself as more than just a man, perhaps even as a force of evil. The way he delivers the line with calm certainty sends chills down the spine, as if he truly believes he sold his soul to embrace the darkness within him. It's a defining moment that sets Ringo apart from the rest of the cowboys. He's not just a violent man, but one who embraces his own malevolence without hesitation.
Listen now, Mr. Kansas law dog. Law don't go around here. Savvy?
One of the most tension-filled moments arises when Wyatt meets the cowboys, Ike Clanton, ever the cowardly loudmouth, becomes increasingly annoying, taunting and blustering with false bravado. It's clear he's more bark than bite, but his constant antagonism keeps everyone on edge. During this encounter, Johnny Ringo makes his presence known, his cold, calculating demeanor contrasting sharply with Ike's blustering. Once again, Ringo's intensity leaves a mark, reminding everyone that he's not just another loudmouth, he's lethal. Just as it seems a deadly confrontation might break out, Doc Holliday steps in to defuse the situation with his usual blend of charm and danger. His cool, confident demeanor unsettles the cowboys, and his ability to toy with Ringo's pride is nothing short of masterful. When Doc's cutting wit gets a rise out of Ringo, Curly Bill can't help but laugh, diffusing the tension with unexpected humor. It's a perfect example of how Doc's charisma and sharp tongue are just as deadly as his quick draw. In this moment, Doc not only diffuses a volatile situation, but also establishes himself as a formidable presence, someone who doesn't need a gun to dominate a room. The gunfight at the OK Corral is one of the most iconic and intense moments in Tombstone, and it's masterfully built up through a series of tense encounters leading up to the deadly showdown. One of the most gripping scenes occurs when Wyatt arrests Curly Bill and finds himself surrounded by cowboys, with Ike in the lead. Despite his earlier bravado, Ike's true nature is revealed again when Wyatt puts his revolver to Ike's head, and he almost cries as he warns his friends to back off of Wyatt, showing that his mouth is far bolder than his actions. Throughout the buildup, the tension in Tombstone is palpable. There are numerous moments where it feels like violence could break out at any second, especially when Ike gets arrested and Wyatt bumps into another cowboy, resulting in heated threats.
I'll fight you right now.
The unease lingers in the air, and it's clear that both sides are on the edge of chaos. The haunting music as the cowboys ride into Tombstone for the gunfight only adds to the sense of impending doom, sending chills down the spine. It's not just a confrontation, it's an event that feels almost mythical in its gravity, as if the whole town is holding its breath. As the cowboys move in, Wyatt Earp calmly retrieves his gun, preparing for what he knows is coming. His demeanor is steady, his revolve unshakable, and the gravity of the situation doesn't seem to faze him. Wyatt stands tall, his presence exuding strength and determination. The iconic moment when Wyatt, Doc, Virgil, and Morgan walk side by side toward the OK Corral is nothing short of legendary. With flames licking behind them and the dust swirling around their boots, they look like figures carved from stone, heroes walking into the jaws of death without hesitation. The music fades, replaced by an eerie quiet that makes every step and breath seem louder than it should be. Just as the tension reaches its peak, Doc Holliday breaks the tension with a confident wink, almost as if he's daring fate to take its best shot. And then, hell breaks loose. Gunfire erupts in a chaotic frenzy. Dust fills the air, and the sharp cracks of revolvers echo through the narrow streets. It's not a clean or glamorous shootout, it's raw, brutal, and unrelenting. Bodies fall, shots ring out, and the lawmen and cowboys clash in a desperate struggle for survival. True to form, Ike Clanton once again shows his cowardice, fleeing the scene as bullets fly. His self-preservation instincts kick in, and he abandons his fellow cowboys without a second thought, proving once again that he's all talk and no backbone. It's a stark contrast to Wyatt and Doc, who stand their ground without a hint of fear. One of the coolest and most unforgettable moments comes when the crowd, which had gathered in anticipation of the showdown, instinctively clears a path for Wyatt and Doc to walk through. It's as if the townfolk recognize that these men are larger than life, figures of justice and vengeance on a mission to reclaim their town from the grips of lawlessness. The atmosphere is electric, and the gravity of the moment feels almost supernatural. The gunfight at the OK Corral is not just a spectacle of violence, it's a symbolic clash between order and chaos, between justice and lawlessness. The way it's shot and framed makes it feel like a legendary moment frozen in time, where courage and cowardice are laid bare for all to see. It's no wonder that this scene remains one of the most celebrated in Western cinema, a testament to the strength of friendship, loyalty, and the unbreakable spirit of those who stand against the odds. The vendetta ride in Tombstone is one of the most intense and visually striking sequences in the film, symbolizing Wyatt Earp's transformation from a reluctant hero to an unstoppable force of vengeance. As an ominous storm brews on the horizon, it serves as a powerful metaphor for the turbulent times ahead. The wind howls, lightning cracks across the sky, and the air feels thick with foreboding. The storm mirrors Wyatt's inner turmoil as his grief and fury come crashing together, hardening his resolve to take down the cowboys once and for all. It's about delivering justice and ending the reign of terror once and for all. Wyatt's resolve becomes even more apparent when he sneaks up behind a group of cowboys who are preparing to ambush Virgil and the women. Without hesitation, he guns down one of them, his movement silent and deadly. The act is not just a rescue, it's a statement. Wyatt's not just playing defense anymore, he's taking the fight to them. And when he sends a message to the remaining cowboys, it's one that sends chills down the spine.
You tell them I'm coming, and hell's coming with me, you hear? Hell's coming with me!
It's not just a threat, it's a promise of unrelenting vengeance, and the raw power in Kurt Russell's delivery makes it unforgettable. The next scene is nothing short of epic, as Wyatt and his posse ride out at dawn, the sun rising behind them as they gallop with unyielding determination. The shot captures the sheer resolve of these men, as they set out to hunt down every last cowboy who took part in the violence and chaos that plagued Tombstone. The visuals are stunning, with the rising sun symbolizing a new chapter, one where justice will finally prevail. One by one, the cowboys are picked off, and the ruthless gang that once seemed invincible is reduced to scattered, desperate men fighting for survival. Some are hunted down in opium dens, their lives cut short without mercy. Others are found hanging from trees, the consequence of their reckless violence finally catching up to them. The message is clear. No one who took part in the bloodshed will be spared. The most visceral and raw confrontation occurs by the river, where Wyatt finally catches up with Curly Bill Brocious. The standoff is intense. With water rushing around them and gunfire echoing off the banks, Wyatt, standing defiantly in the open, challenges Curly Bill with unyielding determination. In a burst of gunfire, Wyatt guns down Curly Bill with a fury that feels almost supernatural. The scene is raw, brutal, and powerful, a culmination of Wyatt's transformation from lawman to avenger. As the dust settles, it becomes clear that this journey was never about simple revenge, it was a reckoning. Wyatt wasn't just looking to settle a score, he was determined to cleanse the town of the evil that had taken root. The transformation from a man seeking peace to one delivering justice is complete, and his unbreakable will stands as a testament to his character. As the surviving cowboys scatter, it's clear that the reign of terror has finally come to an end, and Tombstone can finally begin to heal from the scars left behind. The final showdown in Tombstone is the ultimate confrontation between law and lawlessness, encapsulated in the long-awaited duel between Johnny Ringo and Doc Holliday. At the heart of the clash lies a deeper question. What makes Ringo tick? As we peel back the layers of his character, it becomes evident that Ringo is driven by a deep-seated rage, a resentment for being born into a world that never gave him peace. His thirst for violence is not just about power or dominance, it's an outlet for his existential frustration, a way to assert control over a life that feels inherently cursed. Ringo is not just a villain, he's a tragic figure whose darkness stems from a deep, unresolvable pain. As the scene unfolds, Ringo stands ready for a duel, fully expecting to face Wyatt Earp. The look on his face when Doc Holliday steps forward instead is one of shock and dismay. Ringo thought he was prepared to face Wyatt, but the realization that he must duel with Doc instead is a cruel twist of fate. It's a brilliant moment of subversion that leaves Ringo momentarily speechless, and the audience can feel the tension spike. Doc's cunning move to fake being sick and take Wyatt's badge is a classic bait and switch, proving once again that his greatest weapon is not just his skill with a gun, but his ability to outthink and outmaneuver his opponents. The showdown itself is a masterclass in tension and anticipation. As Doc's hand hovers near his holster, Ringo's confidence visibly falters. The epic music swells, building to the inevitable clash, and in a flash of movement, Doc is quicker on the draw. The sound of the gunshot reverberates through the still air, and Ringo staggers forward, then drops to the ground, his life snuffed out by the faster hand and sharper mind. The power of this moment lies not just in the sudden violence, but in the realization that Ringo met his end not because of brute strength, but because of Doc's superior cunning. It's a fitting end for a character whose entire existence was defined by his desperate need to prove himself the best. In the aftermath, the death of Ringo signals a collapse of the Cowboys' power. As more of the gang members are hunted down and dispatched, the epic music serves as a backdrop to their brutal demise. The relentless purge of the outlaws is both cathartic and tragic, as the town of Tombstone is finally freed from their reign of terror. In one particularly symbolic moment, Ike Clanton, true to form, rips off his red sash and flees, shedding his loyalty to the cowboys as easily as he discards his courage. His cowardice is a final note in the saga of the once feared gang, highlighting the hollow bravado that defined him all along. The film's conclusion carries a bittersweet note, marked by the friendship between Wyatt and Doc. As Doc lies dying in a sanatorium, he shares a poignant moment with Wyatt, reflecting on his tumultuous life and his unexpected bond with the legendary lawman. In one of the film's most heartfelt lines, Doc tells Wyatt,
You win.
It was all ill that I'm a human being in my entire life ever gave me hope.
One of Doc's final lines underscores the depth of their friendship rooted in loyalty and mutual respect, despite their contrasting philosophies. It's a beautifully understated scene that brings the film full circle, reminding the audience that even legends are still human. As the dust settles and the echoes of gunfire fade, Tombstone remains etched in cinematic history as more than just a Western. It's a modern epic that captures the spirit of loyalty, justice, and redemption. From its unforgettable showdown to iconic one-liners that have become part of pop culture, this film doesn't just tell a story, it immortalizes legends. Raw performances, complex characters, and gripping storytelling make Tombstone stand tall as one of the greatest action movies of all time. Decades after its release, it continues to resonate with fans, reminding us that courage and friendship can endure even in the darkest of times.